Welcome back to The Explainer. Today, we're diving right into a seriously heated national debate. We're unpacking Norway's sick leave policies, the brand new Inclusive Working Life, or AI agreement, and trying to answer one massive question. Where does the responsibility for a healthy workplace truly lie? Okay, let's jump right in.
Here is how we're breaking it all down today. First, the sick leave battle, followed by new demands on the sick. Then, we'll look at sanctions versus real accommodation, the focus on preventative work environments, tools for local cooperation, and finally, the road ahead for the IA agreement.
At the absolute core of this entire debate is one fundamental question. Who is actually responsible for sick leave? Does the burden fall squarely on the individual employee to just get back to work, or does it lie with the systemic working environment that the employer provides?
Section 1. The sick leave battle. Who is responsible?
To really grasp this battle, we have to look at the sheer scale of the challenge. According to recent storing documents, Norway's sick leave rate sat at 6.57% in 2025. Now, even though that's technically the lowest it's been in 3 years, it is still a massive national concern for the government and the labor market alike.
So, what's being floated to fix it? Well, one highly debated idea is the Karensdag, or qualifying day. Employer organizations like NHO point out that cutting pay for the first sick day has reduced absences in Sweden. But this brings up huge challenges, right? It risks forcing people to drag themselves to work while highly infectious, or it unfairly punishes workers who literally don't have the option to just log in from a home office.
Section 2. New demands on the sick. Stricter rules proposed. Since messing with first-day sick pay is so controversial, the government is taking a different route. They're looking at stricter rules for the people who are actually off sick. Supported by employer groups, these proposals demand much more active participation from sick employees. We're talking a clearer duty to inform, taking on temporary alternative tasks if your health allows it, and mandating that follow-up plans between you and your boss happen way faster, no later than 4 weeks in.
Employers are really championing this expanded duty of participation. They argue it's an absolutely crucial mechanism. For them, it ensures the dialogue stays active and focused on getting people back into the workplace as quickly as possible.
Section 3. Sanctions or real accommodation. Two totally different views on sick leave.
Now here's where things get incredibly intense. Imagine your union representative explaining this to your members. These stricter duties face fierce pushback from employee organizations. It's a clash of fundamental philosophies. While employers emphasize individual duty and the threat of sanctions to enforce it, labor unions like Paret and Follo Norge see it totally differently. They argue that if you actually want to keep employees in their jobs, the real game changer is real tilrettilegging, real, genuine accommodation. From their perspective, systemic support is far more vital than financial sanctions, which they warn will literally just punish the most vulnerable workers.
In their official response, the union Paret hits the nail on the head regarding the Norwegian labor model. It relies on trust. They warn that forcing sick employees into a punitive, high-stress system where they constantly fear losing their sick pay could completely sever that vital foundation of trust between worker and employer.
And that exact sentiment is echoing loudly in the sorting debates. Politicians and unions are highlighting a real power imbalance here. They're specifically calling out a growing trend where employers dispute sick notes. This is a bureaucratic nightmare that can leave sick workers completely without income for months while the system slowly processes their case.
Section 4. Focus on preventative work environments, preventing illness before it occurs.
So if unions firmly believe that financial sanctions and putting more pressure on sick individuals is the wrong path, what's their solution? Well, they argue we have to look at the root causes. Just think about this. 1 in 3 cases of sick leave is directly caused by poor working conditions. 1 in 3. Yet 6 out of 10 employers completely lack systematic risk mapping. That right there is why employee advocates are hammering home the point that focusing on a healthy work environment is vastly more important than squeezing people who are already unwell.
Because of this massive gap, there's a huge political push right now, championed by ILO, to implement strict, documented health, safety, and environment training specifically for managers. The logic is simple. Competent, trained leadership is the absolute best buffer against workplace-induced illness.
Section 5. Tools for local cooperation. The Work Environment Portal.
To bridge the gap between what employers are supposed to do and what employees actually need, the new IA agreement introduces some incredibly practical tools. The Arbeidsmiljøportal, or the Work Environment Portal, acts as a central digital hub. It offers specific, actionable programs like A Good Day at Work and provides highly detailed, industry-tailored statistics to help stop illness before it ever happens.
But having the portal isn't enough. It's about how you use it to strengthen local cooperation. Both LO and the government agree this is about rolling up your sleeves on the shop floor. It's about safety representatives, employees, and managers taking these facts, building real trust, and working together to implement changes that actually make a difference locally.
Section 6. The road ahead for the IA agreement. What happens over the next 4 years?
With all these proposed rules, the pushback on sanctions, and new collaborative tools, what's the actual timeline here? Well, the latest agreement maps out a very deliberate 4-year journey. The first 2 years, 2025 and 2026, are dedicated strictly to gathering hard factual data on exactly what is causing sick leave and how the current welfare systems are performing. Only then, armed with that data in 2027 and 2028, will they negotiate and implement concrete, mutually agreed-upon changes.
As we navigate the next 4 years of this crucial agreement, the ultimate challenge is going to be finding that perfect equilibrium. How do we balance an individual's duty, an employer's responsibility for genuine accommodation, and that foundational trust that makes the Norwegian labor model work? It's a really delicate balance, and how we handle it is going to shape the entire future of work. Thank you so much for joining me on this explainer, and I'll see you next time.